All right, let's dive into something that's, well, it's a little fascinating and maybe even a bit uncomfortable. In this world where we're constantly connected, constantly scrolling, have we actually forgotten how to dream? I mean, really dream big.
No, seriously, I want you to think about this for a second. When was the last time you had a dream for your life that was so big, so out there that it felt a little bit crazy to even think about? If you're drawing a blank, hey, don't worry. You are definitely not alone in that.
And the reason why, well, it might be a lot closer than you think. Actually, it's probably in your pocket or in your hand right this very moment. Yeah, today we're going to get into this pretty provocative idea that our phones, our digital habits, might actually be making our dreams smaller.
So, this brings us to our first big idea, and it's a powerful one. This concept of being anesthetized by the feed. It really cuts to the core of the issue, right? The idea is that we're so busy just consuming content that we've totally forgotten how to create our own.
So the whole idea is that social media, it can kind of act like an anesthetic, you know? You're just scrolling and scrolling through this endless stream of other people's lives, their wins, their perfect photos, and it just numbs you. It keeps you busy, for sure, but it also pulls you away from the real world. And the real world, that's where your life, your creations are supposed to happen. And this sets up a really clear choice, a real contrast. On one side, you've got this passive consumption mode, just scrolling, watching, kind of hoping that inspiration will just magically appear. But on the other side, that's the active creation mode, the one you need for dreaming. That's about engaging with the world, imagining your own path, and actually building your vision. And here's the kicker. It is really hard to be in both of those modes at once.
Okay, but this isn't all doom and gloom, I promise. The solution is actually incredibly empowering. It's all about reclaiming our power through this concept called co-creation. And all that really means is remembering that you are an active player in shaping your own life, your own reality. So how do we actually do that? Well, the framework is surprisingly simple. It really just boils down to two big steps. Step one, taking on what's called radical self-responsibility. And step two, practicing intentional visualization. Let's break down what those really mean.
Okay, step one is the bedrock. It's the whole foundation. Self-responsibility is all about a huge shift in your mindset. It means you stop blaming everything and everyone else and finally recognize that you are the one holding the pen to your life's story. You're the creator. If we don't make this shift, we just end up being passive watchers or even victims, just waiting for life to happen to us.
And then you've got step two. And this is where the magic really starts to happen. Visualization is so much more than just, wishful thinking. It's a focused, deliberate act. You're building that future you want right inside your mind with so much detail and emotion that you can feel it. This is literally the first step to making any dream real.
Okay, I get it. I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds a little woo-woo, a bit abstract, right? So let's bring this right down to earth. We're going to look at a couple of real-world stories from the source material that show exactly how this stuff works in real life.
So check out this incredible story. It's about someone who started visualizing and actively giving thanks for a house they didn't even own yet. It wasn't built. Now, to anyone on the outside, that sounds like a total alienated hallucination, right? Just crazy talk. But what happened next wasn't just a coincidence. It's this idea of synchronicity. When you get your mind so locked in on a goal, the universe kind of starts to rearrange itself to help you get there. And here's another one that'll really hit you. I want you to picture this. A room full of high school kids. They're being told they need to study super hard for these college entrance exams, but there's a huge problem. They have absolutely no vision for what that future even looks like. Why? Because no one in their family, no one in their whole neighborhood has ever been to a university before.
And this leads to a really powerful question that just cuts right to the heart of it all. How can you ask them to give up their Sunday, to sacrifice their free time, for a future that they can't even begin to imagine? See, motivation isn't just about grit and willpower. It's about having somewhere to go. If you can't see the destination, why would you ever start the journey? And all of this brings us to the final and honestly the most important takeaway from all of this. This is the big one. It's like a compass that can guide not just those students, but any one of us towards the future we actually want to build.
This right here, this was the motto they used to inspire those kids. And I want you to really let this sink in. The body only goes where the mind has already been. Think about that. It's almost like a law of the universe for achievement. All your actions, all your hard work, all your sacrifices, they can only follow a path that your mind has already explored and mapped out first. So let's bring it back to you. If you've been feeling kind of lost or just totally unmotivated, maybe it's not a lack of effort. Maybe it's just that you haven't given your mind a destination yet. Your dreams, that's the destination. And visualization, that whole practice of seeing what isn't there yet, that's your map. That's what shows you the way. And so that leaves us with just one last big question. And it's really a challenge, but it's also an invitation. After everything we've talked about today, you've got the compass, you've got the map. So, where are you going to send your mind next?